YouTube, what's up? I got something cool in the mail. Let me unplug it without breaking it. This is a USB-C to MIDI, in and out. And I've heard a guy that you probably know, his name's Joe Thompson. He's on Instagram. I don't know if he makes YouTube stuff, but talking about some reverb presets with the Bigsky, and I was like, yeah, that'd be really cool to have. I just don't have a USB to MIDI cable, but I bought one, and that one's really cool because usually they're like the standard USB, but I moved a bunch of stuff from my home to my office at church, so I don't have my adapter anymore, and I didn't feel like buying another adapter just so I could get like an older, it has this kind of USB. This kind. I didn't want to do that. But what I found was one that was USB-C, so it works just plugging straight into my computer, which I should probably charge right now. Okay, so what I did was I bought some presets. I bought Steven Burgos. I don't know how to say his last name, unfortunately. I asked my wife because she is Latina, and she would know because he is Latino, and she didn't answer me. So anyways, I bought his presets and I also bought a guy named Nathan Hernandez. You've heard me mention him before. I always love his stuff. So what I'm going to do today is just a little reverb shootout. And I'm going to try and stay in like the cloud reverb algorithm area. But I'm going to shoot out with mine, Steven's, and Nathan's and see which one I like more. I've already messed with them a little bit. I haven't messed with them. I just loaded them onto the pedal. I've been messing around and I have an idea of which one I'm gonna like, but I want to hear your opinions and what you think would be good or bad. Yeah, let's jump in. All right, I grabbed my tricep. I grabbed my tripod because I realized that was kind of a low angle. That's the angle I use when I'm just recording like a playthrough and you don't need to see my face. You don't really need to see my face in any of my videos, but I'm talking to you, so I feel like you should be able to see my face when I'm responding and stuff. This is just my normal setup. I'm playing my Fender Ultra Telecaster through two Tone X1s with the Tone Factor Matchless driven amps. So the cool thing about the Matchless that I love, and I don't know if I've said this before, but it's two different speakers in the Matchless that they captured. So I'm using one speaker on each side. Boom. What a bargain. What a bargain deal. Actually, I don't think it's a bargain because they just made it more expensive than the rest because they knew people were going to do that. So, but yeah, it is cool. It's kind of like a quote unquote 2-for-1 thing. So this is my clean tone bridge pickup, everything wide open. I push a little past edge of breakup. Okay, so let's go to mine. Okay, this is my go-to cloud, kind of like a medium. I don't ever use a small reverb, so my go-to is a medium mix, medium decay time, stuff like that. The tone is a little bit it's a little bit before noon. The low end on the parameter is rolled all the way off. The diffusion is past noon, probably 1 o'clock. Mix is 1 o'clock. Pre-delay is, what is this? 12, 3, 5, 6, 9. The pre-delay is almost at 9, and the decay is 3 seconds. So I'm just going to give it a little cha, and we'll see how it sounds. Add a delay in there. some drive. This is the Benson preamp. Awesome. I like it. It works. Now let's compare that to Mr. Stevens' medium cloud. All right. So, I paid for this, so I don't want to I'm not going to show you his settings. But he has the tone roll off more. He has the low end actually a lot more than I do. He has it at noon. The mix is 12 o'clock. He has more modulation. The thing that I noticed immediately, his is at 2.5 seconds, okay, which is not a big difference, but his pre-delay is much higher. Let's take a listen. You can hear it. Now, having a good pre-delay, like a good amount of pre-delay, is a good thing on your reverb because it actually lets the initial note, like the attack of your note, come through whenever you are playing. But for what I do at my church, that doesn't really matter because I have the mix lower, so it's kind of the same effect, just being achieved in a slightly different way. Let's hear it. Here's the delay. You want your delay before your reverb because the delay trail will make the reverb sound bigger and trail longer along with it because the sound coming from the delay is triggering the reverb. So because there's more pre-delay on this one, that means that you'll be able to hear the individual hits of the delay as well. So that's what this sounds like. Now once the trail of the reverb actually starts going, it's not as noticeable, but that is what's happening. I do want to say one thing. This is the same delay, and I'm not going to change any of my drives because that would be ridiculous. Here we go. Kick on a drive, same thing. Actually, let's do a Super Bowl. Here we go. Okay, let's check out Nathan's. Okay, this is interesting because I didn't notice this. I mean, I noticed it. But what I would consider his medium reverb has 3 more seconds of decay on it than me and Mr. Stevens did. So I am going to go with his first stage reverb, which is 4 seconds. All right, I also paid for his. I'm going to put the links to their stuff in the description. Stevens is with Sound Shop Company, and Nathan does his by himself. You just Venmo him, and he'll send you the password to the Dropbox file. All right, so I noticed this when I was testing them out. Stevens is different than mine, right? A lot more low end, a lot more pre-delay. And Nathan's is a mixture of mine and Steven's put together. So he's got the tone at noon, typically what I do. He has the low end rolled off in the parameter. He has the diffusion a little bit forward. He has the exact same amount of modulation that I do. The mix is a little less than I would have. It's ducked down below noon, but he has zero pre-delay, like none. Let's check it out. No pre-delay whatsoever. Delay. Here's the delay. So because I just noticed this, we're just talking through this, okay? We're best friends. Because his mix is less, the pre-delay can be at 0, and you can still hear each individual hit of the delay because the mix of the reverb is lower. If I can play it right. Put some preamp. Okay, so yeah, the only thing I would change about that is adding a little bit of pre-delay. Let's see how that feels when I do that. It just allows the reverb to feel like it's ramping up or blooming into the sound. In my opinion, I could be totally wrong. I like that a lot better. And yes, I did just stop playing the line because I messed up. I didn't stop because I wanted to talk. I stopped because I messed up. I'm saving that. Now let's listen to my very big reverb. Okay, my big reverb, these are the settings. I can show you. Very nice. You can see them, so I'm not going to say them. All right, you got that? Here we go. It's still going. Okay. That's going to go on for 8 seconds, so I'm going to start talking. I'm going to be completely honest. I only use this reverb on bevel songs and lead lines and or swells. I don't know when else to use it. And part of that is because I'm not very good at like making very versatile reverbs. I said that in one of the first videos I made. Reverbs are not my strong suit. Let's do Make Room. Just an absolute wall of sound, right? So long. Jeez. And when I get into a scenario where I'm like, what do I do? I'm in a service and I'm like, what do I do? That's the benefit of presets, is that if you get stuck, they help you. And you can use them as like a base to work off of. Okay, Mr. Steven loves pre-delay. Whoa. It's the same pre-delay as his other one. The tone is the same. I also said the diffusion is pulled back a little less. And if you don't know what diffusion is, I can explain when we do the listening sample. His modulation is way up to add some variety and swirliness to the reverb. And the mix is high. And the decay is 7 seconds even. So let's do a sound sample and then I'll just show you what the diffusion in a cloud reverb algorithm does. Okay, now let's talk about diffusion. I'll turn it all the way down. I feel like diffusion is basically how thick the cloud is. This is noon. It's like skydiving, and however thick the cloud is when you're skydiving is what it sounds like. This is all the way up, and this basically makes it feel like no pre-delay. Whoa, that was a thick cloud. I'll put it back where he had it. In this scenario where he's using it, my best guess is that he's accomplishing the same effect as pre-delay. So because it takes longer for the cloud algorithm to build up into the reverb, you hear more of what you're playing. Here we go. Let's hear with delay. Obviously this is just made for lead lines. I mean, even in his description of this setting, of this preset, he said, it's a wall of sound. He wasn't lying. He's a man of his word. You can take Steven for his word. All right, let's go to Nathan's. All right, Nathan's biggest reverb. His does match ours. I feel mine was the longest, which is not good. 7-second decay time. The modulation is a little bit ducked below noon. Mix is pretty standard, right around the noon area. He did bump up the pre-delay on this one, and that's because he probably made it for lead lines, and you want to be able to hear what you're actually playing. Tone, both the parameter and the knob are right around noon, and the diffusion is a little bit past noon, so it's more of a traditional reverb sound. It doesn't have that feel that was with Stevens. All right, let's do a little testaroni. You can tell it's a lot brighter. would never play like that. I would never play like that. I keep leaving my mouth open and it dries out. Let's play the lead line. Now, I do want to try some swells because one thing I noticed is that when I would do swells, the moment I would pull my volume pedal down, the body of what the reverb trail included would disappear as well. So the swell would be like, yeah, oh. If that makes any sense. So I'll just give you an example. I'm just going to swell. You can tell, watch, I'll use my hand. So whenever I'm switching to a click another strum, it like disappears for a second. I don't want it to sound like that. So let's try Mr. Stevens. All right, here we go, this is his. Very nice. The body stayed there. I like that one. Let's go to Nathan's. Yeah, so they both did a much better job of retaining that low end presence with swells. So let me know which one you prefer the best. I'm stuck. I think I'm gonna make a reverb bank. So 3 options. One will have, I don't know. Use this time. Put your thoughts in the comments. I'm gonna have this is it. I'm gonna have my medium reverb. I'm gonna have Nathan's big reverb, but I'm gonna like increase the pre-delay, probably turn up the modulation as well. I'll have that as my number 2. And then for swells, I will have Steven's big one for that. And because he made it for lead lines and not for swells, it's kind of a 2-for-1. I can use it for swells or for massive lead lines like trimming sections, stuff like that. So, dude, I feel like this is a pretty good video. I'm not gonna lie. If you're looking for reverb packs, check those out. You can't just check them out. Use my video to check them out, and then if you like them, buy them, support them. Yeah, awesome. And again, if you do buy somebody's presets, just use it as a base for your own preference. It doesn't have to be whatever they made has to be it, you know? Okay, anyways, love you guys. Tell somebody about Jesus. Bye-bye.